Hello and welcome to your final video for section 4.4. We're doing examples 7 and 8. It's the same thing, adding and subtracting your rational expressions, but the only thing that's different is when you factor, you're going to have to use the x method. So without further ado, let's look at problem 7. Example 7 says x plus 3 divided by x minus 1 plus 2 divided by x squared minus 3x plus 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is we want to have a common denominator, but we need the denominators of our fractions to be factored. So I noticed that the second one, x squared plus 3x plus 2, x squared minus 3x plus 2, isn't factored. So I'm going to go ahead and do that down here. When I do that, remember we're putting our b value on the bottom, so negative 3, and then our c value on the top, 2. We're looking for something that multiplies to 2, adds to negative 3. Well, I know the only things I can multiply to get 2 are 2 and 1, but since it needs to be a negative 3, I need negative 2 and negative 1. So this is really the same as x minus 2, x minus 1. So it's sort of like, and by sort of I mean it is, up here, if instead of x squared minus 3x plus 2, I could rewrite it as x minus 2 and x minus 1. Now at this point, remember, we want our denominators to be the same. So I noticed that for my first fraction, the denominator has an x minus 1. For the second one, it has an x minus 1. So the first one is missing my x minus 2. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply the top by x minus 2. And then the bottom, we're just going to add it down here, so x minus 2. So for both of my new fractions, we'll have x minus 1 times x minus 2 on the bottom. It doesn't matter which, of those binomials you put first. If you wrote x minus 2 and x minus 1 that way, that's totally fine. You can flip-flop them. It still says the same thing. Now the top for my second fraction will stay the same. We'll still have plus 2. But for that first one, notice you have x minus 3 times x minus 2. I'm going to give myself a little bit of space here and use the yellow. So it's like I have x plus 3 times x minus 2 for this. Remember, when I do that, I'm going to use the box method. So I'm going to do x plus 3, x minus 2. In my first box, we're doing x times x, that gives me x squared. In my second box, we're doing x times 3, that gives me 3x. Below x squared, we're doing negative 2 times x, which is negative 2x, and then negative 2 times 3, which is negative 6. At this point, we're going to put it all together. We have x squared, and then notice I have 3x minus 2x. So 3 minus 2 gives me 1, so we have positive 1x, and then minus 6. This is going to be the numerator for the first part of my fraction. So we're going to go ahead and put it here. X squared plus 1x minus 6. At this point, we have both of our denominators that match. That's great. So again, my denominator for my final answer is going to be x minus 1 times x minus 2. And then we just need to combine our like terms. So I noticed we have x squared. There isn't another x squared on the other side, so that stays. We have 1x. There isn't another x over there, so we have plus 1x. And then we have negative 6 plus 2, which would give me negative 4. Now, what you should technically check is the top of that fraction. Can I factor that? So let's set up our x method again. We're looking for something that multiplies to my c value, which is negative 4, and adds to b, which is 1. Well, I know to get 4, I either need 2 and 2, or I need 4 and 1. 2 plus 2 will not get me 1. 2 minus 2 won't get me 1. There's no way I'm going to use those and get 1. 4 and 1 also can't be used to get 1. So I don't actually have to factor, which is good because it makes your problem shorter. So my final answer would be x squared plus 1x minus 4 divided by x minus 1 times x minus 2. It is x squared plus 1x. All right, for our last example, 8, we have negative 4x divided by x minus 1 minus 2 divided by x squared minus 3x plus 2. So if you're paying attention, you'll notice that my denominator for my second fraction, it's the same as the one we used in the last slide. So remember to do that, to figure out what it is, we're just going to go ahead and use the x method. But I already did that on the last slide, so I'm just going to show you what the answer should be. If you remember from before, when you factored this thing, you got x, oof, that's a giant pen, x minus 1 times x minus 2. Notice that that means that your first fraction is missing x minus 2 on the bottom, so you're going to multiply the top by x minus 2 and the bottom by x minus 2. When I do that, for this example, we just need to distribute negative 4x. So I'm going to have negative 4x squared, and then negative 4x times negative 2 gives me a positive 8x. Again, on the bottom, we still have x minus 1 times x minus 2. My second fraction is still the same, so minus 2 times x minus 1 times x minus 2. Again, we're going to simplify. Let's just combine what's on top first. I notice I have negative 4x squared plus 8x minus 2. On the bottom, I have x minus 1 times x minus 2. Now, the first thing I notice about the top, I have negative 4x squared plus 8x minus 2. I can divide each of those by 2, so I'm going to put a 2 out front. Yeah, and we'll divide them all by 2. When I do that, we're going to get negative 2x squared plus 4x minus 1. And then we're going to have x minus 1 times x minus 2. Now at this point, I'm going to stop, and this is going to be my final answer. You should probably technically check to see if you can factor this and then cancel anything out. I'm going to tell you can't. Because I'm pretty certain that's true. Also, because on your homework, we're not going to give you anything that has a number in front of x squared. If I wanted to factor that, negative 2x squared plus 4x minus 1, I'd have to do slide and divide. We are not going to ask you to do that, so don't stress about it. All right, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about this section or you need any help, please, as always, reach out to your teacher.